Welcome back, guys, to the kitchen. I am going to continue to prep as people come in, and so you may see me dart in and out of the camera, but I am uber excited about making one of my absolute favorite dishes today, and it is going to be amazing. And so today I even made a design in the kitchen. Let me tell you, since this morning I have either been cooking, shopping, driving, or working. But here I am, and I am super excited to get started. We are going to be making some Puerto Rican stew. Oh, we're having a hard time connecting. Sometimes that happens, but I'm not sure why. I have great Wi-Fi here, or so I think. I'm going to put my phone on airplane mode so we know for sure that it doesn't go off. Hello guys, my name is Norma Williams and I live in Crown Point, Indiana. And years and years and years ago, almost a lifetime ago, I had this little at-home show when I lived in Evanston, Indiana. And I had a crew. They would just come into the house and they would look to see what I was doing, and I would bake something or cook something or stain something or paint something. And so all these years later, with the coronavirus and everything that's going on, I thought, well, what an amazing opportunity to kind of bring the show back and do it in my new home. And so if you can't tell, we have had some camera changes, which is awesome. So we now have a much larger screen, which is also really great. And so hopefully you guys can see me well from here. I'm going to come aboard because I wanted to say hello. Hi, Kate. Hi, Kaylee. I have to kind of lean because when I'm over there, you can't really see me. Your mom said that you made some pollo guisado today, so I would love to hear your recipe. I'm going to wave at you. I'm trying to see what's taking so long because I can see that there are several people on, but for whatever reason, it's kind of hard to see. In other words, it's saying these people are watching, but it's not scrolling how many people are watching. Hi, Dana. Hi, John. I love this recipe. Anybody can make this. And it's chicken, Dana, so you can make this for the kids. And it stores well. You can make this on a Sunday, and it would still be ready for you days later. All right. I don't want to wait because I'm super excited. I'm going to be in the front and in the back of the kitchen. But I have been preparing this for you guys. I have to say, I'm really excited. Okay, so we are making something that's called Puerto Rican stew. It's a chicken stew, and in Spanish, it's called Pollo Guisado. But I grew up with my mom calling it Pollo Guisado. So I called a cousin of mine who I absolutely adore today, and she said that depending on different regions of Puerto Rico that you live in, people call it different things. How interesting is that? So my mom has always called it pollo guisado. Here's another thing that I learned today. I went on Pinterest and I just wanted to see how many different recipes there would be for this chicken stew. And I have to tell you, people are really absolutely amazing in putting in a little twist and a little turn. So there's no such thing as right or wrong. And I'm telling you that because if there's something on this counter that you don't particularly love, no problem. Substitute it for something else. Some of the recipes had carrots. I don't really want carrots in my Puerto Rican stew. I love carrots, and normally I have no problem with them, but I just don't want them in this particular recipe. There's another example. Typically, Mom only uses tomato sauce. Well, the store that I went to was out of tomato sauce, so I have tomato paste, and we're just going to make it work. Typically, it's made in a stock pot, not in one of the tall ones that you would make soup, but maybe in a kind of a medium height one. But I'm going to make this batch. I have a whole nother batch already going. It's actually done already. But I chose this stock pot because I wanted you guys to be able to see how I toss it in, what I throw in, and I didn't want it to have it too high and then you couldn't see anything. So that's kind of why I chose this. This is actually going to be too small for the amount of chicken that I have. So while we're on camera, I'll stay with this pot, but after camera, I'll dump it into something much taller. Okay, I'm going to stick that to the side. Now, if you guys ventured in and you made sofrito yesterday, LaShonda, is that you? Well, I'm saying hello. And Marlene, this girlfriend, you know how to make this. Okay, so last week we talked about making sofrito. And I told you that in a lot of Puerto Rican dishes, we add this in as a staple. I made 3 things today. I made white rice, I made Puerto Rican beans, and I made chicken stew. And this went in 2 of those 3 things. Tomorrow I may make soup. If you make meatloaf, I'm not a meatloaf person. If you make meatloaf, add this into your dough. You can use this for anything. Remember, the ingredients are simple. Cilantro, onion, red and green pepper, garlic, onion. That's it, okay? Super easy. Put it in a blender or some food processor or something where you can mush it up. Now let me show you what we have here on the counter, and then I'm going to show you how easy it is to make this. All right, we have some chicken stock. We have boneless, skinless chicken breast. Now I'm going to talk about that in a second. Sofrito, onions, potatoes, tomato paste, some sazon, and a slew of spices. Okay, meat. Mom is not really big on dark meat, so I didn't grow up having a whole lot of dark meat, but it's my favorite. Not legs, I love thighs. I have made this 2 different ways. When Mom makes it, and the majority of the time that I make it, I throw the meat into the stock pot with everything else raw. But sometimes, I don't know why, sometimes I like a little bit of a different edge. Sometimes instead, I think the dishwasher is talking to me, so I'm going to shut that off. Sometimes I actually like to season the meat really well and then pan sear it. And when I pan sear it, and I mean it has to be quick because you're not trying to cook the meat, but when I pan sear it, it's because I like that almost crusty, texture that you get when you pan sear the meat on both sides. Now, Mom doesn't do that, and let me tell you what the pros and cons of doing that are. If you decide in your stew you want to pan sear your meat first, then know that your chicken is not going to release juices because the pan searing locks that in. So if the chicken isn't going to do that, you need to substitute. You can substitute with chicken broth, you can substitute with chicken stock. Chicken stock is a little bit of a bolder, a stronger flavor. It's my absolute favorite. It's rare I ever buy chicken broth, personally, okay? If you don't intend on searing your meat first on both sides, for the most part, you don't need a liquid. You may want to add some water. Depends on how thick you want your stew. Now, if you want your stew to be very thin, a lot of juices, you want to be able to kind of scoop that broth over rice, well, then you're probably going to want to add some type of liquid. Completely up to you. Again, Mom doesn't ever do this. I do. Okay, so that's just something I wanted you to know. Now, look how easy it is to put this together. I mean, once you have all the ingredients out, literally 5 minutes, everything is in the pan, okay? So here's my pan. And I'm going to put this off to the side here. And I am literally going to start dumping ingredients right into the mix. Okay, here's my spoon. If I was on the stove, I would almost start to warm this pan. I'm not going to do it quite yet, all right? So I mean, when I say heaping, I like a lot of sofrito. I would say a spoonful this big is about between 1/4 and 1/3 of a cup, okay? I like a lot of sofrito, but I have a lot of chicken, and I don't want to be stingy with any of the ingredients that are going to allow for a lot of flavor, all right? So I would throw that into the pot, and then I'm going to coarsely cut up some onion. Now, I love onion. We talked about this last week. You can't go wrong with both the aroma and the flavor. So I like to add coarse onion to everything I cook. I'll also say this. My kids, they also love onion, so that makes it easier. No particular way to add your onion because it's going to get cooked down, but there's no reason to dice. Unless you have somebody in the house who absolutely hates onion, no need to do that, okay? So a nice coarse chop. All right. Now, got that in there? See how easy that was? Potatoes. For me, and I meant to do this before I started the video, is to get these cut up. For me, the potato is super important. I said earlier, I called my cousin today because I wanted to see how, she did her recipes. And she said for her, the potato is the most important part because she loves the way the potatoes soak up all the sofrito. Oh, so good. It soaks up all the juices of the chicken and all of those amazing flavors. Now, if you want to know how many potatoes, again, let me see. If I had to guess, I would say I have about maybe 3 pounds of chicken here, maybe 2. So with my 2 pounds of chicken, I'm probably using 5 potatoes. The potatoes aren't big. I do want to cut them consistently though, okay? So make sure we do that. So I've got 2 more potatoes. Again, should have done this, but I want to show you how easy it is to just add all of these ingredients to this pot and then mix them well. Because I don't have a cooking cam, which is my goal, because I don't have a cooking cam, I cannot just drag the camera to the kitchen every time I want to. So I will not sear this chicken instead, and I'm just going to kind of mix this in. Okay, now I'm just going to give this a little stir, not for any particular reason, but because I want to mix this before I add the chicken. And again, because my pot is a little smaller, I'm not going to add that much chicken. All right, now I do, however, want to add some tomato paste. Now remember I said earlier, hey, I usually use tomato sauce, but where I went was out. No problem. I'll scoop out, first of all, this is a big can. Let me talk about that real quickly. Normally I use the small cans. You guys know the tomato sauce small cans. Again, for the amount of chicken I have, I probably can go more. So I only want about 1/4 of this can. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add that. And then I'm going to add a little bit of water because I want to kind of dilute that a little bit. And I'm going to stir that. Okay? I'm going to stir that just like that. And then I'm going to add this. And guess what I get? Good old-fashioned tomato sauce. Now let me tell you something about this tomato paste, which I'm creating into tomato sauce, and let me tell you something about these potatoes. First, the tomato sauce. The tomato sauce is one level of thickener. Yes, it adds some acidity. Now here's the thing about cooking. Sometimes you go into the restaurant and you're like, man, what is it about how they made it, which tastes different than how I do? Well, a good chef knows that there's a level of acidity you need in your food to make it really come alive. Sometimes it's lemon juice, sometimes it's a vinegar, sometimes it's tomatoes. In this particular look at I'm speaking that. In this particular recipe, it's going to be the tomatoes. Now let me talk to you about the potatoes. The potatoes will also be a thickener, and that's probably the most important thing that we're getting from this. The potatoes are going to let off the starch, and so any broth that we add, the chicken as it begins to water, the onions, even everything that releases water, we're going to want to thicken, and the potatoes, they're going to release the starch, and it's going to thicken that water, and that's how you get that stew. Okay, does that make sense? All right, so now we have our sofrito, our onions, our tomato paste, and then we have our potatoes, and now we're just going to basically season this, okay? I would say, we talked about this last week. I said I have no qualms with adobo in a pinch. Just personally, I would prefer to put all of the things that I know are in adobo because this way I can control the salt. So that adobo has salt, pepper, garlic, it has turmeric, it has oregano, and it even has cumin. And again, I want to be able to determine. Now, I will list, if anybody wants the actual recipe, I'll list ingredient amounts. I'm not really good with ingredient amounts. This is the garlic. I will tell you, but I can figure it out and give you some teaspoons here and there so that you can see, okay? So now we'll put some pepper. Now, mind you, I haven't added the chicken yet, right? I need to make sure that everything in here gets seasoned. Don't worry that it's too much salt. It will not be. As you see, I haven't even added any, so I'm adding a bunch of seasoning. I will say this. Earlier in the day, I took out my chicken. I let it come to room temperature. When you guys are cooking, when you're making meat, eggs, things of that nature, you want to be sure that your meat, your eggs, anything that comes out of the fridge, even in baking, it's best to let it come to room temperature, okay? It makes it a lot easier. Then everything becomes room temperature. Everything cooks at the same time, and that's how you do that. All right, so I think maybe we have a little bit of paprika. I can't even remember now which I've added or not. I can tell the paprika because it's red. I can tell the oregano and the cumin, especially the turmeric, because it is orange. I think I added that cumin. This is what I get for talking. Now I'm going to add a little bit of salt. I'm not going to add too much because that's probably the equivalent of a teaspoon. It's not that much. You just kind of shake it high. You see it coming like it's raining. Honestly, it's not that much. All right. Now, this recipe, I'm going to bring the pot to you, and I'm going to do a couple things. I want you to see how I've just managed to just mix the salt. Haven't added the chicken yet. Okay. All right. So you see that? All that is the potatoes. Potatoes, onions, and then all those seasonings mixed in with those sofrito. I'm going to say hi to a few people because I see that you guys are here. Hi, Diana. Hi, Shaban. That's awesome that you are here. Let's see if I can scroll this down. Maya, Bob. I love when guys watch. Vanessa, you know how much I love you. Lori. Okay, guys, can we just talk about Lori? My good friend Lori is, I lost my good friend Lori is the one who sold this house to me. I love that. Stacy, Judy, cousin, Tom. Okay, I can't say hi to everybody, but I want to. All right, I'm going back into the kitchen. Okay, now, here's my chicken. Again, preference. One of the things that I want to teach you guys is to not get caught up on this being exact. Let me tell you the difference between baking and cooking. Baking is a lot more scientific. So if they tell you, hey, it's a half a teaspoon of baking soda, you can't just not add that baking soda. Cooking is different. And here, it's much less scientific, at least the type of recipes I'm making, and it's much more so fun. If you don't like thighs, then don't use thighs. If you like chicken breast, use chicken breast. If you want your skin on your meat, do that. I bet that you could make this with a cheaper cut of beef, right? You probably wouldn't want an expensive cut of beef, but certainly you could put a cheaper cut of beef in here and use the beef instead. Mom, and on a lot of the recipes that I saw online, they use legs, like I said, and I don't know what it is with me. And even the kids really like legs, but I'm not a big fan of the legs. So I am doing a coarse chop. I'm not looking for anything in particular. I'm not. I'm just having a good time. I'm putting it all in here. I will tell you that it looks a little drier already than I would normally like. So right off the bat, I'm going to just go ahead and add some chicken stock. Now again, Mom never bought chicken stock in her life that I know of. I just like that additional flavor. I just love that additional flavor. So again, just a coarse chop. I also saw one person who added, believe it or not, they added, beside the carrots, somebody took some corn on the cob and they broke the corn on the cob in half and they added that. Now, if you're going to do that, I probably would suggest that you do it at the end because the corn isn't going to need very long to cook and you don't want to overcook that. All right, guys. I'm going to mix this all up. I could probably add that, but I don't want this video to go too long and I want to show you some stuff. I'm going to add this stock. And then I have something over here I want to talk to you guys about in a second. Oh, here's what I wanted to tell you. Guess what? I think, I've never done it, but the idea came to me today and now I want to try it. I think that you could substitute the potatoes for sweet potatoes. What do you think about that? Okay? All right. Okay, so I'm going to give this a good stir. Again, I don't want to add too much liquid because I do know that the chicken is going to let some off. And I will definitely taste this again once the meat is cooked all the way through, but other than that, I'm just going to leave it alone. Okay. All right, and I'm going to show you this one more time. Okay. All right, can you see that? You know what? Let me see if I can turn this camera. Hold on. Let's see. Okay. There we go. See, that may be too much. All right. So here, I'm going to adjust this camera a little bit. Hey, Mike, how's it going? All right. See, so you see this? Okay. Chicken, potatoes, onions. Honestly, and guys, anybody can make this. Anybody can make that, all right? Literally, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this on the stove. I'm going to lid it. I'm going to put it on medium-low, and I'm going to leave it alone. And I'm probably going to leave it alone for about 30 minutes. Now, Hayden is going to attempt to bring you guys into the kitchen area, and here's why. Oh, wait a minute. I got to tell you this first. Today, I made a pot of Puerto Rican beans. I want to tell you guys a couple things. One, if you want me to continue to make Puerto Rican dishes, you got to tell me and give me some ideas. Lisa Weems, I meant to tell you this. The other day, I thought you wanted me to make pasteles, which I don't make. But you were asking me to make pastelón, which even though I've never made it, found a recipe, Mom has made it, I think if I can pull it off and I can find those bananas, I will make that this week. Okay. So I have a girl, again, my wonderful friend Patty, who's my Puerto Rican friend, which is different than my cousin Evalisa, who's also Puerto Rican, who's also giving me tips. Patty was the first person to introduce me to beans made with squash. Just like the chicken, how we have the potatoes, and we want the potatoes, the starch to release from those potatoes, same thing with the squash. And the squash gives the beans just this air of, it's a kind of an earthy feeling that I find fantastic. You don't have to do that for your beans. You can absolutely just add regular potatoes if that's what you want, but I wanted to show you that. Okay, so that's why I have a plate of acorn squash in case anybody wanted to know. Now, I will tell you if you're going to use acorn squash, squash, you want it to be either acorn or you want it to be butternut, but you don't want it to be spaghetti squash because it gets too stringy, okay? All right. Now, let's see if we can head into the kitchen. Actually, let's see if I can man this myself, Hayden. If I can man this myself, you can just follow me. Now, I wanted to show you guys something. Okay, so we're back in the kitchen. I want to see, Hayden, can we? There you go. All right. I need that plate, son. What do we have here? Let me show you, okay? So I'm going to show you these things. We're going to bring this camera in. I have never plated a meal for you, and that was the thing that I was super excited about today. So today I'm going to plate. Now, Hayden's going to have to show you. I have 3 pots. Here, I have my homemade beans I made today. Here, I have the pollo guisado that I made earlier today, and that Hayden made today while I was on the phone because I had to work. So kudos to Hayden, right? Give him some hearts. How about that? And then here, I have a pot of white rice. Okay. All right, you see that steam on that? Oh my goodness, yes. Last week we talked about how Puerto Ricans make red rice and white rice. Today, it's all about the white rice. Okay, so I'm gonna plate this. I want you guys to see this. This is gonna be so good. All right, so when I make a stew, like this with the beans, I want to put my rice right down the middle. And I'm gonna show you why, okay? I put my rice right down the middle. You see that? And I'm gonna tell you why. Because when it's time, oh, I know what I forgot. It's not too late. I forgot bay leaf. I had a long conversation with my cousin Evalisa today, and she said, you don't put bay leaf in your boil? You need a bay leaf. Hayden, get 2 bay leaves, put it in that container over there. I'm gonna tell you something else about my mom. My mom never cooked with bay leaf. So these are things that I'm even learning as I get older based on different friends that I have. Okay, so you see my white rice? All right. Literally, all this is just finished. I have a slotted spoon. Actually, let me put this down for a second. I want to even show you something about a slotted spoon. Yep, those are 2 bay leaves. Oh, let me see that. Everybody else knows what a bay leaf is. Do you know that I didn't know until I was an adult and start cooking? Bay leaves. Mom never made those. I mean, Mom never used them. So because she didn't use them, I didn't use them. So put that in there. And when we go to cook that later on. I have enough pollo guisado for, I don't know, an army of people, maybe 10 people. So if you guys want to practice social distancing and just meet me at the back door, you can have a plate, and I mean that. All right, now slotted spoons, that's what I was going to tell you. I have a couple of slotted spoons. You see I have this one, and I have that one. And depending on how much juice I want to pour over my plate will determine which one I want to use. Less juice for my beans, believe it or not. But I want more juice from my pollo, so okay. And I'm going to show you, so here we go. I'm going to plate that. Oh my goodness, yes. Okay, that's my beans, my homemade Puerto Rican beans. I'm going to see if I can tilt that because I want you to be able to see that. Hayden, I'm going to need you to, okay, now on the other side of that plate, we're going to put our pollo. Can you tilt the camera? I actually want the people at, let's see. Let's trade. Why don't you hold this? Be careful, and I will see if I can lift the camera. All right, guys, come on. Here we go. Okay. That is, let's see, one at a time. Those are the beans, okay? And that's that squash. That, I know I can do this in a better job. You know what? I wonder if I could turn this camera around. That is the pollo, okay? So there you go. Here's your potatoes. You got that nice, thick, rich consistency. And then we have white rice, okay? All right. Let me wave. I don't know why, but the camera isn't moving up. So if anybody is saying something, for whatever reason, I can't see it. Marlene, absolutely important. Oh, so you do. See, so Marlene, my friend Marlene says she adds the carrots. So I'm not sure what else she said was important. Let's see. But I think it's awesome that you add carrots because, again, it's not something that we ever do. Okay, let's see. Anybody else have a comment that I don't see? Evelisa Busonio, you are one of my favorite people in the world. Iceman Baldy, hey man, high school, 1987 in the house. Woo! All right. Chastity, good to see you. All right, so we have our beans, we have our rice, and now we're going to put our pollo on. Now, remember those bay leaf we just talked about? We don't need those, okay? So probably you guys already know. All right. Okay, guys. So, Hayden, can we bring our camera back? I want to bring my camera back into the light because I have light stands that I have for you guys. All right, and I'm going to tell you, Hayden, push that one back a little bit. I know that the lighting is a little funky. Hayden's going to put back the camera. There we go. And I will tell you that there you have it. You have homemade Puerto Rican rice, beans, and a chicken stew. And that, honey, that is how you do that. And the children and I are going to eat like beasts tonight and be oh so happy. All right, I'm gonna tell you guys a couple things here. Oh, where's my cupcake? I also made cupcakes today. I'm gonna put this somewhere. I also made cupcakes today. I made pineapple upside down cupcakes because it's a friend of mine's birthday and I wanted to do those. So here's what I'm gonna tell you. I haven't given you guys a house tour. So if anybody is interested in the house tour, let me know. We can do that on one of the videos. And also, I need more ideas. I'm only going to have so many. Oh, look, I got food on my sweater. I'm only going to have so many ideas. Cook, you're going to have to let me know. And let's see, what else? While you're measuring things in the kitchen, remember to pour out kindness on everyone every day. I got in trouble with the Lord for being aggressive on Facebook about the whole Corona thing, and so now I'm on Facebook punishment. So I am just kind of staying away from Facebook other than kind of checking my messages and things like that for this. And so I want to say practice kindness today. Practice these recipes. I mean, use this. This is why I'm here. And then if you have any ideas, I'm thinking about doing some videos on decor. Give me some feedback on that. Do you want to know about how to decorate your house? Do you want more desserts? Let me know, and that's what I'll do. That's what I'll produce. I love you guys. I'm always so grateful that you watch. I ask every 15 people, I beg you to please share this video. I want to be a blessing to other people, and I think together that we can. All right, enjoy your Wednesday. We will be back in the kitchen tomorrow, though I have no idea yet what we're going to be cooking. I love you. Mwah. Be blessed. Jesus loves you, and so do I.